At the beginning of the year, I went on holiday and we went to an experience where you could walk with lions, and it was incredible. You turned up at this safari park and you literally got to walk around with these lions. But before you went in, you were all sat down and you had to sign this piece of paper to say all these things that you wouldn't do so that the lions wouldn't kill you. You couldn't take your phone in or your bag in. You couldn't bend down. You couldn't run. You couldn't shout. You couldn't stroke them in a certain place. You couldn't walk in front of them. There was all this stuff. And then they said, don't worry, we're going to give you something to protect you. And I was expecting like a suit of armor or a taser gun. And what they gave me was this rubber stick. And I thought, I'm not sure what you want me to do with this. I don't think this is going to fight them off. But they explained that as long as you had this stick with you, then the lions knew that you had authority. The lions knew that you were with the guys who fed them and trained them, and so you were not to be touched. And so the lions came out and we stood there with these rubber sticks right in front of us so that the lions wouldn't come anywhere near us. And as the day went on, we walked around and we made sure we had our sticks. But that day I had a GoPro in one hand and a stick in the other, and I got a bit lazy. And so I put my GoPro in the stick and was walking around with like a camera staff. And then after a while, there was a photo opportunity where you give your camera to somebody else. So I gave my camera to this guy and I walked towards the lion, and the tamer shouted, "Stop!" You see, when I had given my camera to this guy, I'd also given the stick. I'd walked around with this stick for so long that I forgot that my stick was crucial. It was the stick that gave me authority, that the lion couldn't eat me, and I'd just given it away. You know, sometimes we have been Christians for so long that we forget what we carry. We forget that we carry the authority of Jesus into our schools and our communities and our homes and our churches. In Matthew 28, it says this: Jesus came and told his disciples, "I have been given all authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I have given you, and should be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age." Do you know that God has given you a limitless mission? He has given you a mission to be the connecting point between heaven and earth in your school, in your community, amongst your friends. And that when you step into that mission field, that you carry the authority of Jesus. Jesus said that you would do even greater things than he did. And that's what you take with you. Do you expect God to do things when you step into those areas? Do you expect the authority of God to go with you? And so I want to challenge you. Why don't you today say to God, okay, I'm going to give you this year. And I want to see what God can do in a year. If everywhere I go, I carry with me, and remember that I carry with me the authority of God. So why don't you go and why don't you pray and ask God to help you understand the authority that you carry when you walk around in what can seem like a very normal situation.